up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. We do have a lot of topics to discuss, some big changes, some of the regular stories. Again, we have an update on Nico Williams making his decision at Barcelona, where right now he's leaning way to more staying at Athletic Club. But again, no final decision communicated to either Barcelona or Athletic Club as of now. Operation Dani Olmo is going to be taking full effect now, with, of course, Nico Williams leaning towards staying at Athletic Club more, where Barcelona are preparing their second bid to RB Leipzig. We have some big exit updates around Ilkay Gündogan, Ferran, Torres, Frenkie de Jong, and also Raphinha. Update on the future of Christensen. Update us as well on the fourth captain. Again, with Roberto not continuing on as of right now. The couple are thinking about who the fourth captain will be, and right now they have Pedri, Lewandowski, and Gundogan as the three options. We have an update, of course, on Christensen and where he'll be playing next season mainly. Again, you can probably guess where. And finally, Barcelona have submitted a bid for Joao Cancelo, according to reports in the UK, and it's quite interesting to see the total valuation of what Barcelona have set the offer at. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number 1 Foot. Number 1 Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they have from last season. This was the Catalonia version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 24 hours. Yet again, we still continue to wait for the final communication on the decision of Nico Williams, but everything right now is pointing in the direction of him continuing at Athletic Club for at least one more year and rejecting the move to Barcelona this summer. Now, Candace have come out saying that Barcelona had made it clear to Nico Williams that the train is passing now and there is no reason for him to wait for next season. If the player decides to stay at Athletic Club, Barcelona will not wait for him for another season. Again, they also mentioned that Barcelona do want to announce a new signing on the US tour that I talked about yesterday. But on this train passing crap, I will tell you guys this right now for free. If we do not sign Nico Williams this summer, we will be back in for him next summer. I think the only way we're not going to be back in for him is if the release clause changes. Of course, he has been presented with a new contract by Athletic Club, of course, if he does end up staying, and apparently, according to reports, will bring his release clause back up from 60 million to 100. Maybe Nico will have a gentleman's agreement with Athletic Club saying that, look, I'll stay for one more year, but let me go to Barcelona next summer for the same price, or the case may be. For the same price, I think Barcelona will 100% do the operation next summer. Of course, for a different price, I think the club will not do it, but this train passing by crowd, I think it's just to put pressure on him, and I think the club will definitely be back for him next summer, of course, if he decides to continue this summer at Athletic Club. Now, ARA are reporting that Nico Williams' dream is to play for Barcelona, and it is the only club he'd like to join if he leaves Bilbao. No PSG or anything like that whatsoever. Apparently, the PSG rumors were only used to put pressure on Barcelona. However, the dream has cooled down a little bit due to pressure from Bilbao, his family, who all want him to stay for at least one more year. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Nico Williams had to make a decision on his future last week, but he's taken some time. I think it'll all be finally clear at some point this week. Again, everything now is pessimism, pointing in the direction, of course, of him continuing at Athletic Club, and the reason being his family, everyone's putting pressure on him. Apparently his agent as well is convincing him to stay, which, by the way, makes no sense. I mean, his agent spent 2 weeks negotiating and reaching an agreement on a contract with Barcelona and Deco. Why then convince Nico to stay? Was it because Nico told you to go and agree a contract? Was it because you wanted to do what's best for your client? I don't know, but again, it feels weird a little bit that his parents and his brother saying, oh, stay one more year at Athletic Club. What's 1 year compared to 10 years at Barcelona? Like, I understand the Europa League finals of the MLS next season, which of course Athletic Club are in. But what if they get knocked out in the round 32 by some random Greek side? Then what? Then you're thinking, oh, I should have went to Barcelona, blah, 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 blah. So it's just, again, I fully agree with the club in their sense that, you know what, they presented their offer, they've reached an agreement, just waiting for a final decision. Again, the club cannot do much more. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, Deco's flopping, which again, he has been pretty poor since coming in the past 2 windows, of course, January and this summer. But what can Deco do? He's sitting there convincing him, he's sitting there telling him this is it, this is the only time, blah, blah, blah. It comes down to the decision. He didn't really mess up in regards to, agreeing a contract or a transfer fee. It came down to the player's final decision. Anyways, more reports came out a lot before the match last night against Man City. Miguel came out saying that Barcelona's losing hope to sign Nico Williams. The club believes that after receiving pressure from his family and athletic club, he wants to stay. However, Barcelona are still a bit hopeful that he might reconsider. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that again, Atletico Madrid want to renew his contract and increase his release clause, and Barcelona made it clear, either join us now or forget about playing with Barcelona completely. Catalunya Radio came out saying that Nico Williams in Barcelona is getting complicated. There's a lot of pessimism right now around the club. And Victor Navarro also came out saying that Barcelona have the money to sign Nico Williams, but not to register him at the moment. And for me, that is absolute sheer and utter bollocks. Tell me one time where Barcelona failed to register a player. In the last 4 years where we had, financial troubles, we've never, ever, ever, ever failed to register any player. From Eric Garcia, Memphis Depay, to Kochen and Raphinha, to bloody Victor Roque, we have never, ever failed to register a player, and we never will, because the club will never get into that kind of situation where they go and sign a player with the huge massive risk that he'll not be registered. That for me is absolute sheer bollocks. If he does decide, of course, to join tomorrow, we will 100% be able to register Nico Williams. Now, Fernando Polo Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona does admit that the signing of Nico Williams is getting a bit complicated. The pressure from Athletic Club is making the player consider staying in Bilbao and renewing his contract, which would increase his release clause to 100 million euros, making it no longer a possibility for Barcelona to sign him again, unless, like I mentioned, there is a gentleman's agreement where Nico said, okay, I'll sign him, make the release clause 100 million euros for everyone else, but for Barcelona only, it's 60 million. Then, of course, that deal could still be on the line next summer. If it's not, then definitely off the table. And finally, La Vanguardia came out saying that Barcelona's proposal to Nico Williams is a 5-year deal with a salary of just a little higher than 7.5 million a year, which is around about 150,000 euros per week. So similar to wages to the likes of, Gundogan, Christensen, a bit higher than Inigo as well, which would increase based on number of games played and performances. So it can still go higher than that. That's just his base salary, so it could increase for the amount of games he plays and contributions and stuff like that. What it could reach, I have no idea, but apparently right now, Athletic Club, he's on 200,000 euros a week, so the club kind of, shortened that a little bit, made it heavily incentive on playing games and performing well to probably reach, I would say, a bit over that. So he can basically, if he, plays and, get contributes on the pitch, he would probably earn around 200,000, maybe just a little bit over that per week, but he's not going to earn it here anymore because, again, the direction right now is him pointing at staying at Athletic Club. So, again, we'll wait and see. Again, I think we can pretty much admit defeat at this point. I think it's just dragging on now for no reason whatsoever. But what Barcelona will do after this, of course, is going to be all about Dani Olmo. But will Barcelona go for another left winger this summer? I don't think so. I think, again, the club will just wait for Nico Williams in 2025. That is my prediction. I'd rather bet on, Ansu Fati, and this might bring back the Joao Felix talk as well. Barcelona could bring back, the Joao Felix operation, of course, with this Nico Williams deal failing. Of course, Dani Olmo can play on the left, Raphinha can play on the left, Ansu Fati can play on the left, but you need, of course, that natural width, that natural player in that position, where, of course, Ansu does kind of suit it a little bit. I think Raphinha, of course, played well there last season and from February until, April, but you want someone there a bit more natural. So we'll wait and see if the club go for anyone else, like a more natural winger per se. But anyone we go for after Nico Williams is going to be a downgrade, which does suck, unfortunately. And again, I see a lot of people say, oh, we waited so long for Nico, we wasted a whole summer transfer window. At the end of the day, we knew this from June the 1st. It was Nico Williams, then we see Wagwan. I've been saying that since beginning, mid of June, that we're going to sign Nico Williams, then we're going to reassess, see where we're at, what the squad needs, what Hansi Flick wants, sales. It was just Nico Williams, and then let's see. So, of course, if he ends up failing with 1 month left in the window, it does unfortunately suck. So we'll see how things turn out. We'll see there's somewhat of a remontada coming in, but unlikely there will be. It looks like Athletic Club have won the battle and have convinced Nico Williams to remain with them for one more season. Now, with the Nico Williams deal probably not going to be happening, of course, now Barcelona's number one target and, priority in the transfer market will become Dani Olmo. Now, Ferran Martinez from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that RB Leipzig insists on getting 60 million euros fixed for Dani Olmo, although they are open to providing payment facilities to Barcelona. The German club also wonders why Barcelona are ready to pay 62 million for Nico Williams, but value Olmo at 40 million euros. It's very simple, Leipzig. Because he's not worth 60 million. Maybe I think he's 60 million as a package, he's worth it. As fixed, hell freaking no. And that's why, where Nico Williams is the only player in that position, where Dani Olmo, we already have about 4 or 5 players in that area, so paying, over him would make no sense. I think, again, 60 million package, so 40 or 50 fixed plus some variables, I wouldn't mind it. I think that'd be a fair operation, but 60 fixed, absolutely waffling. So wait and see how the club do negotiate with RB Leipzig. Again, Leipzig happy to help Barcelona in terms of payment plans, so paying in installments, so that shouldn't be an issue. Just now we're down to whether or not how much will be up front. That's going to be the big question mark. Now, Victor Novato from Kochen came out saying that Dani Olmo signing is possible, but Barcelona believe they must pay less than 60 million euros for him. Again, fixed. However, RB Leipzig want at least that amount and have rejected the club's initial first offer, of course, 40 plus 20. Now, Ivan San Antonio came out saying that RB Leipzig are very angry with Barcelona's first offer for Dani Olmo. They didn't even respond to it. So, of course, some people saying they rejected it. Some people are saying that it was just so crap that they didn't even respond to it. I mean, it reached the 60 million that they wanted. I don't see why it was that crap to, air Barcelona completely. But if they want to be bad bitter, go ahead. There's no other club in the world in for Dani Olmo right now. People are saying, oh, Man City are interested, Bayern Munich are interested. It's only Barcelona. I'll tell you that right now. There's no other club in the world apart from Bayern Munich, I would say. If they don't get, of course, Desiree Doué or Xavi Simons, if they don't get either of those, then I think they'll definitely come in for Dani Olmo. But apart from that, there's no other club in the world that want Dani Olmo. Apart from us and Bayern Munich, I would say. Maybe Bayern Munich. They've not done any talks. They've made any offers to RB Leipzig or Dani Olmo. It's only been us. So I'm smooth sailing with this one. I'm completely fine because we're the only one in the race. Of course, Dani Olmo wants to move. He's been very, nice to RB Leipzig in terms of his, performances and the way he's moved and the way he renewed, of course, his contract. Last summer as well to, retain him. So we'll wait and see how this turns out, especially once we get a final answer from Nico Williams. I think this operation will definitely accelerate, but for now, I think we're still waiting the answer from Nico, and then afterwards, we'll make our movements in regards to Dani Olmo. Now, a midfield signing that would drastically improve the squad, and pretty much every Barcelona fan in the world does want a player of this profile, and maybe this player as well, is Mikel Merino. Now, the ARS have come out saying that Mikel Merino will be willing to sign for Barcelona, provided that the clubs can reach an agreement with Real Sociedad. The first figure that would be valued would be about 20 million euros. Again, we talked about this a month ago. They want about 30 million as a package Sociedad for Mikel Merino, so you can do 20 plus 10, 25 plus 5. We already know this. Just now down to whether or not Barcelona make the approach. I think Mikel Merino would definitely choose Barcelona over Arsenal, but Arsenal are the only ones in there that's actually talking, making concrete movements, speaking with Real Sociedad and negotiating with them. Well, we're just waiting here for Nico Williams, and then we're going to see Wagwan at this point. I think the club, I think that Mikel Merino, if he really wants to see Barcelona move, unfortunately, mate, I hate to say it to you, you're going to have to wait. I would wait until August the 15th, 20th, somewhere around there. That's where I would say you have to wait for until Barcelona make a move or give you some sort of signal like, okay, we're going to come in for you. Just give us, let's just do some few sales, and then we'll definitely, make a move for you. We'll definitely, promise to make a movement for you. That won't probably come until the middle of August. And the club right now want to, deal with Dani Olmo and Nico Williams, and maybe do some exits, whether they're positive or negative exits. We'll wait and see on that, and then maybe they go for another signing. So I think with Mikel Merino, if he does want to move, he has to play the long game. So I would say this: if he does not move to Arsenal or any other club by August the 7th, August the 8th, I'd be a bit optimistic, but of course it's going to come down to mainly Barcelona and Real Sociedad negotiating a fee. So we'll wait and see how things will turn out, but again, Mikel Merino is fancying the Barca move, does have it, of course, high in regard in his, preferred destination this summer, but of course the club themselves have to make a movement in order to keep that, interest from the player. Now, a player who Barcelona have been actively following and actively want to sign this summer is, of course, Joao Cancelo, who was on loan from Man City last season. The rumors have been over the past few weeks that Barcelona are going to play the long game. They're going to wait for the last week of the window to try to negotiate and try to, finesse Man City, essentially. Now, the Daily Star in the UK, who I would say is kind of a medium source, I think around the, Manchester clubs and United and City, they're quite okay. They came out saying that Barcelona have launched a new offer to sign Man City's Joao Cancelo for another season-long loan. The initial loan fee would be £7 million plus £18 million obligation to buy next summer. Of course, 18 plus 7 is £25 million, which is around about 30 million euros, which again is the utter maximum I would pay for Cancelo, but I would really make that obligation an option. I would make it an obligation if, you know, certain conditions are met. He plays certain games, performs well, we of course maybe win something or something like that, then you can make an obligation. I wouldn't mind that, but I would really want the initial one to be an option, especially when we're paying such a high loan fee of around, what's that, 9 to almost 10 million euros. So I mean, it reaches the valuation. I always said this, 20 to 30 million is what I would spend for Cancelo, 30 as a package max. Of course, that fits this, and 20 fixed is the max I would spend. Somewhere around there. I think 25 is probably the sweet spot, probably a fair assessment for both Barcelona and Man City respectively. So we'll wait and see. I'm not too mad at this offer. The only thing I'm mad about, of course, is the obligation. Hope it's an obligation based on certain conditions, and wait for further confirmation, of course, from the Catalonia media as well. This is just only coming in from the UK. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. Again, Barcelona is still very firmly interested in Joao Cancelo, but they are expected to be playing the long game for his signing this summer. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up is Ilkay Gündogan and Ferran Torres. Following, of course, as Nico saga not going too well, we've gotten now some concrete exit rumors for the first time in quite some time. Total Costa have come out saying, and of course I think Total Costa alongside Catalonia Radio, they've come out saying that injuries have changed Barcelona's plans in terms of selling this summer. The player who the club would like to sell now are Ferran Torres and Ilkay Gündogan, which again, I don't mind. Of course, with Ferran Torres, we understand that he's a 5th choice, 6th choice forward option. That makes sense. Again, I'm looking for around, I'd say, 25 to 30 million euros for Ferran Torres. Of course, you have to remember amortization will be a key role in that. How much we already paid to Man City, how much we have to, how much left we have to pay as well. With Gundo, he's coming as a free agent, so whatever fee we can get from him, of course, is a bonus. But for me, again, I've been very firm on this. 20 million euros for me, I think, is a fair price, especially for our player of the season last season, to give him up, sacrifice, you know, a player like his quality in this team, which again, I think we have enough coverage. Bernal, Casado, De Jong, Gavi, Pedri, Fermin, Raphinha, who can play in the 10 as well. Ansu Fati, if you're very desperate, can play there as well. So we have suitable options. Of course, Gundogan in this Hansi Flick system will not play in the double pivot. It'll be De Jong, it'll be Gavi, it'll be Christensen, it'll be Casado, and you can add Romeo to that as well. Unfortunately, Gundogan's going to be playing in that advanced position in that 10. With Pedri being out injured, he'll probably start the La Liga season. We have Fermin Lopez, of course, who's coming back. Of course, he's going to have some time off of the Olympics. Pedri, who, of course, he's, you know, one of the faces of Barcelona. So losing out on Gundogan is not the end of the world. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter react to this so negatively. Oh, Gundogan played the season. He's so good. You can't just give him up. That's embarrassing. Look at the bigger picture, lads. He has 1 year left on his contract, and right now he's at peak value. 175,000 euros a week, you can say. I'm not saying I'll let Gundogan leave just like this, like for free. I'm saying for a good offer. And I think if that offer comes in, I would accept it without hesitation. I think even a 10 million euro bid would tempt me. I've maybe chuck in some variables in there, maybe trying to negotiate, but double-digit fee in the millions, you have to take. You absolutely have to take. With the amount of coverage we have, the the short term of his career at Barcelona. Again, he has 1 year left on his deal. I doubt we're going to renew him next summer unless he absolutely blazes through this season and we have, you know, no money to spend next summer, which shouldn't be the case. Of course, election next year, so Joao Laporte is going to, you know, he's going to splash big time, I feel like. And we have suitable options. Again, if you even imagine the midfielders I already mentioned, and slap on top of that Dani Olmo, who's probably going to come in. So in your 10 position where Gundogan's going to play, you have Fermin Lopez, you have Pedri, you have Raphinha who can play there, and you have Dani Olmo. We can survive without Gundogan. Of course, Ferran Torres, again, he's quite obvious. With these two options, I personally don't mind. Now, Catalonia Radio also mentioned that Frenkie de Jong and Raphinha were also on the chopping block for Barcelona, but have both refused to leave Barcelona. Now, we'll talk about De Jong and Raphinha later on, but it is, of course, in the same report. So we'll see what the club do decide. Of course, the main thing is what offers do come in for these players. Again, with Gundogan, I'm open to it. I would let him go for, you know, a decent fee. Ferran Torres, of course, any, you know, decent offer, you probably, you know, highly consider it. But these are the two main players right now that Barcelona are considering selling. Now, we do have some updates on those two players who are refusing to leave Barcelona, one of them being, of course, Raphinha. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Raphinha is really pushing to stay at Barcelona for at least 1 more year. He believes he can do great things this season. I fully back my Joga Bonito. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth we should be selling or even considering a move for Raphinha out the door, especially with us not getting Nico Williams. Who's going to play on the left? Of course, Ansu Fati is out. Ferran Torres is going to be coming back late from, Euros and, all this crappy rest. It's going to be Raphinha on the left and Lamine Yamal on the right. Of course, Lamine Yamal is going to come back late as well, so we'll probably see some sort of midfielder there on the left-hand side initially. And also, you cannot rely on 17-year-old Lamine Yamal to play 50-plus games next season again. You need to have strong competition and strong rotation. It makes no sense. Again, good offer comes in for Raphinha, 80 million plus. We can talk. But there's no way Barcelona should be forcing him out. It is absolutely pure and utterly idiotic. I'm very, very happy that Raphinha is pushing to stay. I think if he was a bit more open to leaving, I think his future would be blown wide open. I think he is very smart to, push for a stay. I think he should be staying as well, barring a ridiculous offer. And I'm kind of disappointed in the club that they do want to, select him as one of the options. I understand why he could be one of the options, especially if Nico Williams does come in. But it makes no sense. You need to have competition. You need to have versatility as well. And he's been good the past 2 seasons. I think he's been in both, 7 out of 10 last 2 seasons as a new signing as well. Double digits in both goals and assists. Yes, in this final third, he's a bit indecisive, but hopefully he can improve on that coming into the season. He's done really well in the latter stage of the last season as well, from February until present day. He was very good for Brazil in the Copa America, despite them, of course, losing out to Uruguay, which, of course, is a very tough team. Not like they crashed out to Panama or Costa Rica or something like that. So, keeping Raphinha for me, absolutely crucial in my opinion, and hopefully the club do, ease their restriction on letting Raphinha stay at the club this summer. Now, another player that the club was considering signing this summer, but now they really can due to his, contract situation, also his injury as well. It is Frenkie de Jong. Now, this report is coming in from Mundo Deportivo. It's not coming in from the best Mundo Deportivo source, but I do want to mention it because I also want to give you guys my opinion on it. Now, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Frenkie de Jong is not listening to offers from neither any other club in the world or Barcelona either for a contract renewal. His contract expires in 2026, and his plan is to negotiate as a free agent come January 2026. So Frenkie de Jong's plan, according to Mundo Deportivo, is to get to January 2026. That way he can negotiate with anyone freely, discuss brand new ideas, brand new contracts, and maybe the same for Barcelona as well. If this is the case, which again, I do not believe whatsoever. I don't believe this at all. I'm just mentioning this now just in case it does happen. Maybe it's like a 5% chance. If this is Frenkie de Jong's mindset, I would freeze him out for 2 years. I would not play him for 2 years. Yes, pay his wages. I don't care. Absolutely kill his career. I would not consider him for selection for 2 years. He can F off the, Dutch national team if he wants to. Of course, we can't really stop that. But for Barcelona, I would absolutely freeze him out. I don't care if every single midfielder is injured. I would, call the Barca athletic players, and they're all injured as well. Get the cadet team, get the juvenile A's. I don't care. I would freeze Frenkie out for 2 years. I would say, look, either renew your contract or we're selling you this summer. It is that plain and simple. We want to keep you. Here's an offer. Very fair. You want to take it, cool. If not, we're putting you. And then he comes back to me and saying, actually, I'm going to wait till January 2026 where I can negotiate as a free agent. I'll talk to you guys again then. No, mate. You have to threaten him at this point because he does have, of course, I would say a bit of a leverage as well with his contract now running, very, very short. You have to be firm. I would freeze him out for 2 years. Not just the last year of his contract. Of course, if this is his mindset now, freeze him out for 2 years. I don't care. Let him go hang out with Mickey and his kid. I don't know. Let them go, live life on the sunny side of Barcelona. I don't care. Freeze him out because that's all you can do from Barcelona's side. So we'll wait and see. Again, I do not believe this report. I don't think this is accurate whatsoever. But I am now getting a bit suspicious, not only for Frenkie de Jong, but even the likes of Araujo and Pedri's renewals as well. I think the club are going to probably wait for the season to focus on key renewals. I think right now in the summer, they want to focus on ins and outs and not really renewals, which again, I predicted, of course, back a few months ago that the club do always work on renewals during the season. And then once they hit January, February, like, oh, don't worry about it in the summer. Then the summer comes, oh, we'll worry about it during the season. Then that's when they start to panic and then everything, last second FC. So we'll wait and see with Frenkie, but right now his future is very much around the middle area, whether or not he wants to continue at Barcelona or leave the club. Now, the funniest report that I have seen over the past 24 hours is this coming in from Catalonia Radio about Clement freaking Lenglet. They come out saying that Hansi Flick is very content with Lenglet so far. His performances have been very, very good in training, and he will be important this preseason, especially with all the missing defenders. When I tell you guys that I think that Hansi Flick is a puppet, I am not effing kidding. He is saying and doing and portraying himself in the media everything that Joan Laporta wants. Someone who trusts the current players, does not want too many signings, glazes on La Masia, gives these lone players coming back chances like Araujo, Vai, Ansu, Lenglet, Romeo staying for one more year. It's exactly what Joan Laporta wants. It's not giving me the best of confidence in this manager, which of course I hope I'm absolutely wrong. But keeping Lenglet might be on par with how Laporta treated Xavi. I mean, you have about 8 billion center backs already. Yes, I understand Mikel has a little bit of ankle discomfort. Yes, Eric Garcia is out on international duty. Yes, Inigo has 1 year left on his deal. Araujo is injured. Christensen now all of a sudden is going to be playing in the FM midfield. Kochen is out right back. Kubarsi is with Spain. So number-wise center back right now, it's pretty low. But once everyone comes back, you're going to have about 8 or 9 center backs. Again, I think I think Clement Lenglet's future is far away from Barcelona. I think the club do think this as well. I think this is either them just being stupid and retarded, or them trying to, glaze Lenglet a little bit in the media to not only attract interest from other clubs, but also instill confidence in the player as well. There was this clip of Sarah, who does the social media content for Barcelona. She's giving out bracelets. Or was it Sarah? I think it was the other girl. I think her name's Maria or something with the M. Anyways, she's giving these bracelets out to, the first team players, which again, she gave one to Casado, which means, Casado, first team player. She gave one to Lenglet as well, which again, you can say, I think the club just trying to be a bit nice to him, make sure, because again, he has a lot of power in his future, same with Frenkie de Jong, so let's, be the good guy here. Hey, we have a little offer from you. You want to take, maybe consider it and take it. I don't know, man. But wait and see. I think that no matter what, Lenglet has no future at Barcelona, and all this hopefully is just a glazing tactic from Barcelona. If not, we are so in the mud, it's not even funny. Now, a player's future next season that will 100% be at Barcelona is, of course, Andreas Christensen. Remember, there's a lot of noise about him in the beginning of the window, Newcastle and all this stuff, but he's going to be staying for sure, especially with no midfield signing, as Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Andreas Christensen can continue to play as a pivot under Hansi Flick. The coach has analyzed his performances as a pivot from last season, and he evaluated it very positively. Flick has also commented to his staff that Christensen is very good condition to play in midfield, despite playing most of his career in the defense. Again, a lot of Laporta stuff here. Laporta, hey, just use the current squad. It's so good. It's so good. Again, look, Flick, not Flick. Christensen, he's alright. He's done alright in the midfield. Whose idea was it, of course? Mr. Javier Hernandez. So shout out to him. Again, with us having a bit of overbooking in the center back department, having no one in the midfield, you can see this coming a mile away. So I'm not surprised whatsoever. I see Barcelona probably lining up with Araujo and Kubarsi at center back, with Kochen at right back for now, of course, pending Cancelo's future. And then Christensen probably in the midfield alongside Frenkie de Jong. Gavi maybe in 2025. Maybe for now, Gundogan, I would say, especially if we don't have Dani Olmo coming in. So again, it's all if, buts, and maybes, but what's clear is that he's probably the best pivot that we have right now at the club, even though his natural position isn't a pivot. But again, based on the current squad and the players available, everyone kind of saw this one coming. Now, someone else's future that is at Barcelona, at least for now, will be, of course, Araujo. And since he is going to be out injured until 2025, as I've been telling you guys over the past few weeks, people are saying, oh, December, November, he's not going to be back until 2025. The club have decided to potentially unregister him as a player and then re-register him back in January. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that in order to comply with FFP and accommodate new signings, Barcelona are considering not registering Araujo while he's injured. Inigo is also not registered yet as well. They then register him once he's recovered, which is expected to be around January of the new year. So again, very similar to what we did with Gavi last summer to unregister him, use that space to register Victor Roque. Of course, now Gavi has been re-registered. Again, the issue with this is that it may complicate things when you hit January, especially when the salary bill is already very, very full. How can you, re-register Araujo with it already being full, unless there's going to be some crazy exit in January, which again, I doubt with the already thin squad we already have. So I think the club will probably definitely unregister him. Whether they use all that space or not remains to be seen. They might just leave that space for him as well, just in case something happens, a great market opportunity comes up, or whatever the case may be. Maybe his injury doesn't develop well as well. He might come back in like March or something, so the club may use his space for a January signing. I don't know, but I think it is the smart route to take. Of course, the same route that we took with Gavi's injury last November. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Firstly, some reports coming out around Diego Kochen, with Relevo coming out saying that Barcelona believe that Diego Kochen will end up replacing Marc-Andre ter Stegen as the starting goalkeeper in the next few years ahead. The club says that he has everything to grow, and also the 18-year-old's idol was ter Stegen growing up. Now, I heard the same thing about Hernan Tenes. I heard the same thing about Inaki Peña, and I also heard the same thing about Astrolaga about 4 or 5 months ago. Again, the club always do this. They do this with every single player that has decent talent. They glaze them up so that they do explode. They can say, oh, look, we called it, we saw it coming. And if they don't, of course, he has a little bit of hype to, sell on the market. I will admit, I've seen nothing of Diego Kochen. I know who he is. I've seen some clips of him. I don't think I've watched a game of him playing. Maybe the friendly game that we played against, who was it? Like Club Mexico or something, I forget. Who we played like at the end of last December in Dallas. Anyways, listen, it's going to come down to his moment and whether or not he succeeds. Again, the club glazed Arnaud Tenes for 2 years. Oh, he's the next Ter Stegen replacement. The club will not have to buy a goalkeeper for like the next 20 years. He's now pissed off at PSG. So, I mean, we'll wait and see. I would not fall into the hype quite yet. Let everything, come in this time. Let's see how he grows. Let's see how Barcelona decide to move forward in the goalkeeping position. And now, of course, entail the future of coaching in the first team. Now, one of the big talking points around Barcelona right now is, of course, revolving the captaincy. With, of course, the first team captain, Sergio Roberto, nowhere to be found right now. The club are looking and analyzing who will become the fourth captain. Of course, Ter Stegen will be promoted to the first team captain, Araujo will be promoted to the second first team captain, and Frenkie de Jong will be promoted to the third team captain, which, by the way, 2 of our 3 captains have contract expiring in about a year and a half's time. Makes perfect sense. Right now, Sport have come out saying, I think Ferran Corazzo, a good source from Sport, came out saying that with the departure of Sergio Roberto, Pedri, Gundogan, or Lewandowski have good chances to become the fourth team captain. Now, in my opinion, I still believe that Sergio Roberto will pop back here again and we will have no changes in the captaincy. Of course, hypothetically, if Roberto doesn't, it's not hypothetically because he's not continuing right now, but if Roberto does not, fully stay past this summer, I personally, of course, would give it to Pedri. It makes zero sense, in my opinion, to give it to Gundogan or Lewandowski. Yes, they're bigger players. Yes, they're probably better leaders than Pedri. Both their contract expire next summer, so what the F is the point? You give it to Pedri, the longevity, again, is already one of the faces of Barcelona. You get the captain's armband on him, you can market that like no effing tomorrow. It makes perfect sense, and also, he can grow into the role. Imagine him in 2 years later, he'll be a true captain, a true leader. He'll understand that based on the kind of this trial run that he'll have over the next year or two. Makes perfect sense. I think giving it to Gundogan or Lewandowski would be absolutely idiotic. Their contract expire next summer. No longevity whatsoever. At least with Frenkie and Araujo, they're expiring in 2026, so they got at least another year or something. These 2 players are going to be gone and free agents come this summer. Of course, Ter Stegen has a long-term deal, which he signed he signed during the season, I think, until 2028, if I'm not mistaken. So, no worries there. So, we'll wait and see what happens with the captaincy. I think, again, it should definitely be going to Pedri. Again, it would be great marketing-wise for Barcelona as well. They can have Pedri with the armband on the images and stuff like that. It'll do wonders. It makes no sense, again, to have Gundogan or Lewandowski, especially with Gundogan. I don't even think he can speak Spanish right now. Again, the videos I'm seeing online with him interacting with the Barcelona News Network and stuff like that, or Barca 1, he doesn't speak Spanish. Neither does Christensen, which is surprising. He's now 2.5 years at Barcelona and still can't speak any Spanish. Lewandowski, of course, knows Spanish pretty well, and fair play to him. He's learned pretty quickly, so we'll wait and see how this turns out. I think once, Roberto 1 billion% will all stay, again, an announcement from him and Barcelona, then we can progress forward and think about this more often. But until there's an official announcement from Roberto and Barcelona themselves, I would not count him out continuing quite yet. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to more Hansi Flick hype that the media just keep on pushing down our throats. Captains have come out saying that at Barcelona, they are pleasantly surprised by Flick's working methods, from the dressing room, the coaching staff, professionalism, and the established new routines stand out. The players are happy with Flick's constant communication with them, especially youngsters, and sources say in the sporting area emphasizes that Barcelona need a new physical routine to compete with the leading teams in Europe. Please go to my video 2 years ago in December when Xavi came. The exact same effing reports came out. Oh, Xavi's training is an initiative. The challenges are great. Oh, the double training sessions are killing the players. They absolutely love it. There's a growing intent that we can get, stronger. He's brought in his coaching staff. It's just rinse and repeat. I heard the same thing under Kochen. Heard the same thing under Setien. Heard the same thing under Valverde. I heard the same thing under Tata Martino, for crying out loud. Until we see it on the pitch, don't buy it. Now, in regards to Flick speaking some Spanish, Javi Miguel came out saying that Flick is now attending Spanish lessons 3 times a week, and Barcelona hope that he can communicate without a translator with the team within 6 months. Of course, right now, Thiago and also Westerman, his third assistant, are doing a lot of the talking in training sessions, although Flick maybe knows a little Spanish, buen dia, ¿cómo está? Todo bien? Move over here, aquí, and all that stuff. Maybe knows some of the basics, but properly translate and properly get his thoughts through. The club hope he can do it in 6 months, which again, is quite, I would say outrageous. Lewandowski took him a year to get Spanish down quite, pat, which again, fair play to him. It's very, very difficult to learn a new language, especially when you only be speaking German and French, German and English all your life. It's gonna be difficult for sure. So the club, putting a lot of pressure on him is, quite straight. So we'll wait and see. I think once he does, of course, a press conference in Spanish, that's when he's pretty much comfortable at that point. But we'll probably see his press conferences be in English in the next few months. But again, he is learning Spanish, and we'll wait and see how long it takes for him to, understand it enough for him to fully, take over a training session. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to know is about Nico Williams. Just let me know your thoughts on whatever it is. Secondly, Dani Olmo as well. Let me know your thoughts. I feel like I asked that every single day now for the past 4 months. Here's some interesting one. Thirdly, your thoughts on the fourth captain. Who would you give it to? Pedri, Lewandowski, Gundogan, maybe someone else, maybe Gavi, who's injured, Balde, Ferran, anyone else that you consider an option. And finally, your thoughts on that Joao Cancelo bid. How much would you pay for Cancelo as a total package? Would you make it a buy option, obligation? Leave me all your thoughts down below. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barça.